Week 14 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few centers I look to buy and trade for this week. The first guy, Isaiah Stewart of the Detroit Pistons. So last season, Stewart, he came onto the scene and had a good finish to the season. And this year here, not that great of a year. 7.7 points a game, 8 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1.3 blocks, 52% from the field. But the last few weeks here, it's been mediocre to poor lines for him, only averaging 7 points a game. 6.6 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 2 blocks a game, though, and 49% from the field. So he's not going to be a big scorer. He's not even going to really be a double-double guy, but a lot of empty stat lines over the last few weeks here for Stewart. And right now, he's actually been dropped in 3% of fantasy leagues this week. So he might be available in a decent amount of leagues here at 26%. But right now, if you want to get a decent center on your roster, I think Stewart could turn things around, even though we know Kelly Olynyk is back in the lineup here for this Detroit team after being out a while with an injury. So the last few games here for Stewart, January 16th versus Phoenix, 5.6 boards, 2 assists, a steal, 25% from the field. January 18th at the Warriors, 14 points, 11 rebounds, a block, 70% from the field. And January 19th at the Kings, 7.6 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, and 42% from the field. So right now, Stewart, he's got to get things going here, no doubt about it. But you could get him very cheaply, in my opinion. And he's still a guy that Detroit's going to run out there. I know the Pistons, they've got a decent amount of guys playing well this season at the big man position with Lyles and Olynyk, who's been decent until he got hurt. But now he's back. But I still think Stewart's going to play his 25, 30 minutes a game. He's still going to put up numbers. And he's a tough kid in there, obviously, for this Piston team. So right now, while he's not doing much, it's a perfect time to go out there and get him on your roster. And you don't got to pay much to get him. The next center is Clint Cappa of the Atlanta Hawks. At Cappa last season, he had a monster season for this Hawk team, 15.2 points a game and 14.3 rebounds. But this season, the numbers have dropped off a bit, 11.8 points a game, 13 rebounds a game, though, 1.4 assists, 1.5 blocks, and 56% from the field. But right now, we haven't seen Cappa in game action since January 7th. So he's been out now with the ankle injury. And this has been the thing with Cappa. He's been injury prone throughout his career, especially in his Houston Rocket days. So right now, he should be back any day now, I would think, with the ankle injury. But it's pretty much been a wash for him this whole month of January. So hopefully he's back in January 21st ball game or the 23rd at Charlotte. But Cappa, we know he could put up numbers. I know the numbers are down a little bit this season. And Cappa owners, they could be frustrated right now that he's out. So right now, since he's out still, I would try to pull a trigger on a deal to get Cappa, because if he comes back and puts up a ball game with 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 2 blocks, then his value's back to where it was, and you're going to have to pay a bigger price. So right now, with the injuries and the numbers falling just a bit here, I think this is a perfect time to pounce and make a deal here for Clint Cappa. And the third and final center I look to buy and trade for is Myles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. So Myles Turner, he's been on this list a few times this season here. And right now, he's going to be out to the All-Star break with a foot injury. But in my other video about Turner a few weeks ago about buying him, he's going to be a guy traded most likely at the trade deadline. We know he's not happy with his role in Indiana. And if, say, he goes to another team where he's going to get more minutes and more time with the ball in his hands, we know he could score the basketball at a great rate. We saw it a few seasons ago, but with the emergence of Sabonis over the last few seasons, he's definitely taken touches away from Myles Turner. And they got good scorers over there as well. Caris LeVert when he's healthy, and obviously Malcolm Brogdon and even Darte has shown flashes of big games. So on the season here for Turner, 12.9 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2.8 blocks, which obviously he's a huge shot blocker over the last few seasons. 1.5 threes a game at 50% from the field. So rumors before he went down was that the Knicks were interested in him. I don't know if that's going to happen now, especially after they gave up a first-round pick for Cam Reddish a few weeks ago. And then the Minnesota Timberwolves interested in him as well here. But we don't know where he's going to land. But right now, this foot injury is obviously a pretty bad one that he's going to be sidelined by the All-Star break, which is February 10th. So that's another 2-3 weeks here that he's going to be out. But obviously, he's probably going to be traded, I think, is Turner. He's not happy, and he's going to just take time off, in my opinion, now until it fully heals at 100%. But right now, I think he'll be back in the second half of the fantasy basketball season. And he's a center you could pretty much get for nothing. And when he comes back, he'll help you in rebounding. He'll help you at three-point shooting. And obviously, his specialty is blocking shots. So right now, if the Turner owner is frustrated and he don't want to wait 3 or 4 weeks here till he returns, this is a time to go out there and get him. So that's a few centers I look to buy and trade for here in Week 14 of the fantasy basketball season.